This one goes out to anyone who's ever lost something or someone they love. Remember them always. Let me know in the comments below. 5 kids. Vithon, Sarah, Michael, Lily, and Jacob were inseparable friends. The kind of kids who thought nothing could scare them. They lived in a small, quiet town where life moved slow, and the biggest problem most folks had was what to have for dinner. But the kids weren't satisfied with slow and simple. They craved excitement. And when summer came, they wanted an adventure they'd never forget. That's when Jacob suggested camping in Blackwood Forest. It was the kind of place that lived in local legend. People who entered never came back. Old men whispered that the forest had no end, that it swallowed people whole. Parents warned their children not to go near it. But to the kids, the warnings sounded like a challenge. They set off one bright afternoon, their backpacks heavy with food, tents, and one old camcorder Jacob insisted on bringing. "You guys are such party poopers," Jacob said, holding up the camcorder. "Do you and tell me you don't want to see our ghosts being chased by some big, scary monster?" "I'm not scared of any stupid forest," Michael said, puffing out his chest. "If anything spooky comes near me, I'll hit it with my flashlight." At first, everything felt normal. The sun was warm, their laughter echoed down the dirt trail, and the air smelled like pine and soil. The towering trees formed a tunnel overhead, their limbs reaching like fingers, but not too close. Sunlight still dappled the ground, and the breeze rustled the leaves in a soothing rhythm. "Do you hear that?" Sarah asked quietly, tilting her head. "It sounds like someone's playing the piano." "There's probably a cabin nearby with some old guy who plays the same song every day," Lily guessed, smiling, like in those old folk tales. But the deeper they went, the stranger the forest became. The trees grew closer together, their twisted branches forming shapes that looked like grasping claws. The light dimmed, even though the sun was still high. It was as if the forest itself was trying to shut them out. By the time they reached a clearing, the sun had begun to sink. They pitched their tents, built a fire, and started joking around, filming each other for fun. But the laughter didn't ease the prickling unease on their skin. Sarah kept glancing into the trees. Lily whispered that the silence felt wrong. No birds, no crickets, not even the rustle of leaves. Just heavy, suffocating stillness. And then there were the dreams. That night, the terror began. As the fire burned low, a sound drifted through the trees. A faint whistle. At first they thought it was the wind, but the melody was too deliberate, too human. Michael grabbed the flashlight, his hands trembling, and shone it toward the sound. Nothing. Just blackness. Then came the footsteps, slow, deliberate crunches moving in a circle around their camp. The kids huddled together, listening, whispering each other's names just to make sure they were still there. For hours, the sound circled, never coming close, never going away. Finally, they faded into the night, leaving the kids trembling in the darkness. In the morning, they decided to leave, but every path they took led them back to the same clearing. "How is this possible?" Michael asked, frustration edging into his voice. "It's like we're stuck in some kind of maze." "Maybe we should have stayed in one place instead of hiking," Lily suggested, but her voice lacked conviction. They tried following the compass, but the needle spun wildly. They tried walking toward the rising sun, but after hours, the clearing appeared again in front of them. Confusion turned to panic. They argued. Michael swore they must be walking in circles. Sarah insisted the forest was tricking them. Ethan cried, saying he just wanted to go home. The second night was worse. The whispers began soft at first, then louder, clearer, voices calling their names. Ethan froze when he heard his mother's voice, calling gently from the trees. "Come home, Ethan. It's time to come home." Sarah heard her brother. Lily heard Jacob's voice, though Jacob sat right beside her. The voices came from every direction, sweet, familiar, impossible to resist. Jacob volunteered to get water, promising he'd be right back. He never returned. An hour passed, then 2, growing worried. Sarah called out to him, but only her own echo answered. The forest seemed to be mocking them. Finally, they found his backpack torn open, his flashlight smashed, his shoes abandoned by the creek. Terror gripped the group. "Should we call out for help?" Sarah asked, her voice barely a whisper. "No one will come in this weather. We're on our own," Michael replied, forcing a calmness he didn't feel. They tried staying awake, but exhaustion weighed on them. When Lily finally drifted off, she screamed herself awake moments later, swearing someone whispered into her ear. The firewood wouldn't burn. Their food spoiled unnaturally fast, crawling with insects that hadn't been there before. Even the air tasted wrong, metallic, like blood. On the third day, paranoia set in. Michael accused Sarah of hiding something, convinced she was leading them in circles. Ethan cried nonstop, begging them to stop fighting. Shadows stretched too long on the ground, bending and twisting in ways that didn't match their movements. At one point, they swore they saw Jacob standing at the tree line, motionless, eyes glowing pale white. When they called his name, he vanished. That night, everything collapsed. The whispers grew into screams, hundreds of voices wailing, begging, laughing. The forest itself roared with agony. The kids clung to their final lantern, its dim glow the only thing keeping the darkness at bay. Then came the cold. Their breath misted in the air, though it was summer. Ethan was the first to go. One moment, he sat shaking. The next, he was dragged into the dark with a scream that ended too suddenly. Michael shouted his name, ran after him, and vanished into the trees. Sarah and Lily clutched each other, sobbing. "We can't leave." "It won't let us leave," Sarah whispered. The lantern flickered, then died. The last thing Lily felt was a hand gripping hers, cold, bony, inhuman. She screamed, and the sound was swallowed by the night. When searchers entered days later, they found only ruins. The tents were shredded, clawed apart. The fire pit was cold, untouched, and at the center of the clearing were 5 backpacks, arranged neatly in a row. No footprints, no blood, no children. To this day, no one knows what happened to the 5 kids. Some say the forest feeds on fear, trapping souls forever. Others believe the kids are still wandering, lost in an endless maze, calling out to anyone foolish enough to enter. The truth remains buried in the shadows of Blackwood Forest. Now it's your turn. What do you think happened to the kids? Are they still lost in the forest? Or did something more sinister take them? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if you venture into the woods, don't listen to the whispers. They're not there to help you find your way out. Thanks for watching. Now don't forget to subscribe for more spine-chilling stories that will keep you up at night. And if you dare, stay tuned for the next terrifying tale. Your support means everything to us. So hit that like button and share these stories with your friends. But please, whatever you do, don't watch alone. The forest might be watching you.